somebody that holds a substantial amount of XRP, and what that might mean, whatever it means to you. I'll look at it this way. Here in the U.S., there's a gift tax threshold of $12.92 million per individual. If you're married, that's $25.84 million. And when you move your assets into an estate, there's an estate tax or gift tax that'll be on that for anything over that amount. So let's say you've got 300,000 XRP. Just as an example, hypothetical goes to $100. Okay, you're looking at $30 million. At that point, when you move that into an estate in order to protect yourself and set things up for the future, you're going to be looking at a 40% tax on anything above the amounts I mentioned before. Whether you're single or married, you're still going to owe 40% tax, whether you cash out or not. And so that's a consideration you want to take in and make sure you're being proactive about. It would be ideal if you could set those structured up beforehand, before you reach those amounts, so that you don't incur those tax penalties. And then once it was inside those vehicles, whether it be, a holding company that's structured inside of an LLC, inside of a trust, or if you wanted to lease your assets from your holding company inside your trust to another entity so that it could, do whatever it was going to do with those assets in order to produce income and paying distributions out of the trust or from that company to you as an employee. There's a lot of different ways to go about it in order to mitigate tax obligations. But the largest consideration in the short term for people, I think, is that gift tax for when they do move this into an estate.
What's up, guys? Today's video is solely focused on how the elite handle their wealth, and in this case, XRP. Yep, you heard that right. Pretty soon, XRP will be one of the most prized items in the world. And I'm not just your regular cryptocurrency. Since Ripple's win against the SEC is inevitable, let's talk about how we're going to handle that amount of wealth when it comes into our digital wallets. But before we get into all that, let's roll that intro. As always, welcome to Money Side, your favorite crypto channel. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you get updates when we drop new videos. And don't forget, you can smash that like button, and please leave a comment or a question in the section below. Without proper planning, you could easily be exposed to a higher tax rate, which will take a huge amount out of your profits. That said, it's important to better understand the tax you are exposing your investment to. Ripple, on the other hand, has been working extra hard to ensure their product is a success, including XRP. Here's an interesting tweet from Ripple, which states, "Seamlessly bridge traditional fiat systems with the new world of crypto. Find out how your business can unlock immediate, real-world value through crypto and blockchain with Ripple Liquidity Hub." We have updated the Liquidity Hub blog with more info on assets that are available today and why.
Crypto is here. It's no longer an idea or on the horizon. It's already the reality of how businesses and people trade, move, and manage value. But despite a growing desire by businesses to engage in crypto, integrating digital asset solutions is complex. It often requires cumbersome integrations, has high costs, and involves engaging with fragmented, slow, and costly fiat payout landscape. At Ripple, we built Liquidity Hub to seamlessly bridge the new world of digital assets with the traditional world of fiat. The experience is plug and play, encompassing a single API connection into a breadth of liquidity pools. It offers optimized pricing via smart order routing, and through Ripple's suite of products, best-in-class last-mile fiat payouts into global jurisdictions will be available. Liquidity Hub powers interoperability between crypto and fiat systems, bridging digital assets seamlessly. Partner with Ripple for your crypto liquidity needs today.
Another recent major topic is the fact that XRP is not listed in the Liquidity Hub of Ripple. But here is what John Deaton had to say about that. XRP not being listed in Ripple's Liquidity Hub means absolutely nothing regarding the case. It does not mean the case has already been decided and that Ripple lost, or that they suspect bad news is coming. It's called Liquidity Hub. How liquid is XRP in the US? don't get me wrong, I understand people's disappointment. You've been fighting for XRP for over 2 years against government overreach. I'm just commenting on people thinking that it means something specific to the case itself. And those are some fairly honest points. I mean, why would Ripple list XRP, yet it's not allowed in the US? It beats the whole idea. More importantly, XRP not being listed does not directly relate to the company losing the case. Ripple understands the delicate nature of XRP at the moment, and they chose not to list it for now until everything gets sorted out, which will happen sooner than most people think.
US government. We're here in Washington. I'm assuming you're having conversations around this. How optimistic are you on the regulatory front here in the US?
So I feel like we need to get something done here in the US in order for us to really set the standard, if we want to set the standard, which I think the US government is going to want to do that. So I'm very optimistic that we're going to get something on stablecoins by the end of the year. And the reason why is because we don't have a choice. If we want to have a voice in this, we need to get it done this year.
When you say the US government, who are you referring to? Is this a congressional question? Is this the SEC CFTC question? Is it the Biden administration and directives coming from the White House? I mean, who realistically is in charge?
Well, we've actually already seen the Biden administration indicate, at least on stablecoins, that we need to see something happen there. So I feel like that's already been a directive from the White House and the administration. And then we do need to see in Congress, we need to see them take that and run with it and create something for us. So they're in charge of the legislation with respect to stablecoins, in my opinion. And we need to see it because once we see stablecoin legislation, we're going to see adoption of more by digital assets of more companies that are in the Web 2 space, which is essentially what I think we want. If we want a strong US dollar, and we want a strong US dollar globally, a US dollar stablecoin is a way to see that happen.
You are, Danelle, at Stellar behind the development and growth of this technology in this industry. Does it have to be in the U.S.? Or why are you so U.S.-centric, seeing as other countries are so much friendlier to the crypto industry than the U.S. seems to be?
Well, I love the fact that other countries have actually taken a lead on this, but I don't want us in the U.S. to be forgotten because I think it's a really important place where we have a lot of innovators and a lot of developers who are already really focused on this tech stack, and we want to see them be able to get their technology out and make it more utility focused and usable. So I just don't want us to stay so far behind in the US that we lose sight of what the value is, which is actually really getting these technologies to the US consumers as well. And to be honest, if we don't do something in the US, we're going to be in this bifurcated world where we have legislation outside the US that's more friendly to crypto. We're going to have companies being outside the US, and we're still going to have the issue where US consumers are going to want to leverage this technology. So what are we going to do in that scenario? So I'm optimistic only because I don't think we have a choice.
How do we get, or how do you get then some of the political capital back that was destroyed by Sam Bankman-Fried that seems to have been spent by CZ? I mean, this industry, they're not, favorites on Capitol Hill.
Well, part of it is that we don't have a lot of operators that come to Capitol Hill, and so we need to do that. We actually have some really great utility uses that were shown already the value to consumers and to businesses alike globally. We see some of those on Stellar. We have the humanitarian aid use case that we did with the UNHCR, where the UNHCR is using Stellar and tools built on the blockchain and USDC to be able to get aid into Ukraine to users in 2.5 minutes. That's an awesome use. We also have folks that are using this for cross-border. We see a lot of it happening where in Colombia, they're preferring the USDC, the dollar in Colombia, and they're leveraging that to count against inflation there. So these are things that we're seeing happen. And what we need to do is have operators come to DC and be able to tell their story of what they're developing. Stop talking about the technology, start demonstrating the utility. This is what we've been doing for a long time, but honestly, it hasn't been that sexy when all the trading use cases and all that were going on. But now let's focus on the real utility. That's how we win this.
Okay, so if it's about utility, though, doesn't that require understanding? Because the argument we get from skeptics and some lawmakers as well is it's not necessary. You're just reinventing the wheel, maybe doing something in a different way, but we don't actually need it.
Well, first of all, I think it's because a lot of them focus on the tech stack and they're not actually looking at the uses. When you look at a wallet that's actually enabling you to live in Colombia, to receive USDC and to hedge against the inflation in the local currency, that demonstrates that there is value there to someone, and that is actually happening because it's a digital asset on a blockchain. So we have to talk about the utility in order to make that happen. But importantly, we don't actually see a lot of discussion around that. So we see more discussion on the tech stack. And the truth of the matter is, you use HTTPS every day when you go and log onto your computer, when you're checking your bank, when you do all those things. You don't actually talk about HTTPS.
Right, I don't even know what
I think
Exactly. That's the point. The point is we have to stop talking about blockchain and crypto and show what it can do.
So especially what we are doing now with the Interwork Alliance, and that we are basically like building a solution according to the standards set by Interwork, that we collaborate with each other to set standards and have blockchain technology as like an audit accounting tool. That's most that the blockchain has the most added value as an accounting tool, basically for us as well. It provides transparency in the market, and that's why we're utilizing that technology in our solutions as well, because it brings transparency to the market, basically.
Ironically, and certainly in some circles, has a huge degree of mistrust as a technology. I mean, I'm still so surprised. Again, COP26, the only mention of blockchain as a innovative solution in sustainability was as the worst for the environment and the least clean. What are your thoughts on that?
Bitcoin. Yeah.
Why were you saying that twice?
Bitcoin.
That's why we chosen to work build this on the XRP ledger instead. So we looked at the right way to issue and implement the token taxonomy framework on carbon neutral blockchain. So basically, it all depends on which protocol you prefer, and especially what Sammy was mentioning. Bitcoin is the biggest polluter out there, but there are alternatives. So
there are alternatives. There are nuances to even that discussion, and as Ted.
Here's another tweet that brings everything to a clear perspective. Ripple XRP fam Steve Witt, co-founder and COO of Exchange.com, speaking on blockchains empowering green regional developments and how BC was mentioned the worst for the environment. That's because of Bitcoin, and that's why we chose to build on this XRP ledger instead. And like Sammy was mentioning, Bitcoin is the biggest loser out there, but there are alternatives. XRP is about to go to the moon. The only question right now is, how do you hold on to your profits and how will you use them? Comment your thoughts in the section below. As always, do your own research and always trade safely, guys. Please keep in mind, we're not a licensed financial advisor. All videos on this channel are intended for entertainment purposes only. Let us know what you think in the comment section below, and let's have a conversation. Thank you as always for watching. Don't forget to like this video. Please click on that subscribe button below and turn on notifications so you get informed when we drop new video. We'll look forward to seeing you on the next Money Side.